Good morning. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Sandy. Morning coffee never felt so necessary, did it? So, like 1 o'clock this morning, one of the dogs started barking, and I got up to quiet the dog and walked into a piece of furniture. Well, that kind of did it for my night. You know what I mean? Rest of the night from like 2 o'clock on. I just laid there trying to fall asleep. Don't you hate when that happens? I do. Especially because I haven't been sleeping that well anyway. I'm going to need to get some sleep. Did I ever tell you about starry eyes? I had a sample to show you yesterday and I forgot to show you. There's this product called Starry Eyes. They're eye masks that when you rip open the package, they start to warm up immediately and they stay warm for like 25, 30 minutes. They're delightful. They're not hot. They're just warm and dark. I think I may use one today. I'll try to remember to show them to you. They're really, really good. Oh, look at that. They magically appeared right next to me. This is what they are. Starry eyes. Come in packages like this. I bought them online, but I bought them at the first time at Costco. And I think I may have bought them online at Costco the second time since it was COVID time and I didn't want to go in. Yes, starry nights, starry eyes. I'll go for it. It says, oh, you'll love this. Henry, it says, put the sparkle back. They're self-warming eye masks. Okay. They're not paying me to recommend, but maybe they should. I don't know. Starry eyes. I picked a patience mug this morning because when I'm this tired, I need patience, truly. I mean, doesn't it seem like you trip over your own feet when you're tired? I have my feet right under me right now, so I think I'm not going to be tripping. We'll see what happens. It's not old age, right? Because I can remember when I thought 30 was really old, and then 40 was old, and then 50 was old, and then 60 was old. And I think I mentioned once that I used to read the obituaries first thing every morning. I don't know why, just habit. And I remember thinking that if somebody was in their 60s or beyond, it was like, okay, if they died because they'd lived a full life. I swear to you, that was my thought. I have definitely changed my thought. But I remember when my grandmother turned 90, my great grandmother turned 90, and that was like whew, unheard of. It was unheard of. I mean, she was the cutest little old lady. We were not allowed to call her by her first name. We had to call her by her last name. I won't go into the whole story, but it's actually very funny. My Grandma Bader, was so tiny that she made me as a child look like an Amazon. And she spoke English. She had an accent. And she had white hair, thin white hair that she wore in a little tiny bun on top of her head. She was so cute and so clean. She used to scrub her scrub pail. Seriously. And she had this stool in her house, kitchen stool, white kitchen stool, just plain kitchen stool. You remember those, right? And we weren't allowed to sit on it because our feet touched the rungs and got them dirty. Yeah. Anyway, she lived to be 90, and that was ridiculous. I mean, it was just crazy. My mother is now 97. I hear from people all the time whose parents are in their 90s. People celebrating their 100th birthday. I don't know if we were meant to live this long. I'll have to buy more clothes. Today is National Coming Out Day. Here's to LBGT, and I salute you for having the nerve to come out, but I do have to share a story with you. I had a friend / employee years ago who was a lesbian, and she hadn't told her parents, and she decided she was going to tell her mom. So she went home for the weekend, and she said, this is a true story. She went home for the weekend, Her parents lived in Beverly Hills. And she said, Mom, I have to talk to you. Her mom said, well, what's the matter? What is something wrong? She said, well, I don't want to upset you, but I feel like I need to let you know that I'm the L word. And her mother, like all the color drained from her face. And she looked my friend right in the eye and said, oh my God, you're a liberal? Seriously. Here's to National Coming Out Day. I remember a friend once came out to me and my husband. And it was so funny to us because we thought he was the only one who didn't know. We all knew for ages. So we just hugged him and congratulated him on getting smart. There you go. It's also National Kimberly Day. What is with that? Why does Kimberly get a whole day just for her name? I want a National Sandye Day. What do you want? You want a day with your name? I think you should have it. I think it's only right. Yeah. What else? Oh, in 1138, it says, there was, in fact, in Aleppo, Syria, an earthquake that was so big and so serious that, how many? 230,000 people were killed in one day from this earthquake. And my question is, can you imagine having all the deaths of COVID in just one day? I thought that can't be right. So I looked it up and I read more about it. And sure enough, in 1138, and they still had records and recordings back then for, yeah, isn't that crazy? And then I got interested and I wanted to know more about big earthquakes. And in 1737, in Calcutta, India, over 300,000 people wiped out from an earthquake. Tell me you have your earthquake bag ready. And I don't even care where you live. I know where I live, we're more prone to earthquakes. But as you can see, if you look on a map, on an earthquake map, earthquakes are happening all over the planet now. You need to be prepared. You need to be prepared. You know where your gas meter is? You know where you can turn off your gas? You need to turn off your gas. You need to have water. You need to have water somewhere so that just in case of emergency, you know, the pipes are going to go, you're going to need to have drinking water. Flashlights, matches, there's so many things. You can Google what goes into an earthquake kit. I have mine sitting right in the next room, ready to grab as I go out through the garage. Not a bad idea to have one in your car. I have like a little mini emergency kit and a mini safety kit, first aid kit in my car. I highly recommend that. And let me share, let me share my coffee. A tip that I shared once before that a lot of you really appreciated and some of you may not have heard yet. And that is that in your cell phone, you add a phone number in your contacts for ICE, I-C-E, which stands for in case of emergency, ICE. That way, if, God forbid, something happens, someone can look in your phone and know who to contact. I have 2 or 3 different ICE contacts in my phone, people to call in case of emergency. The other thing that's a good idea is for your family, if you're all living in one area or one state, or even if you're spread out all around the country, to have one designated phone number to call. A cousin who lives in a very safe place, somebody who you all have the phone number for where you can all check in. So if there's been a disaster, I know to call my cousin because that's where all my children and all my other cousins and aunts and blah, 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 everybody's going to call in at that same number. Good morning, Marlene. Thanks for joining me on this incredibly dark Sunday. The more we get into the fallish winter, the darker it seems to be. I kind of like my sunshine right away, so I have to bring it myself. It's National Sausage Pizza Day. In case you were wondering what to have for dinner, now you know, sausage pizza. We had sausage pizza 2 days ago. Yeah, we ordered in. You know, it was one of those kind of days. But significant other, great in the kitchen. He sauteed mushrooms and onions and had cut up artichoke hearts and olives and peppers and what else? We had all these wonderful things to put on our sausage and pepperoni pizza. It was amazing. And it was deep dish. There's still one piece maybe for lunch today. It was really good. Okay, National Sausage Day, Kimberly Day. Can you believe that? That's just not right. In 1975, Saturday Night Live came to America. It came to the world. Thank you, Lorne Michaels. But the question is, do you know who the first host was on Saturday Night Live? Dun, 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 dun. That's music for you to think by. No? You don't know? It was George Carlin, my hippy dippy weatherman. George Carlin. You should listen to some old George Carlin stuff if you don't know his stuff. It's great. And speaking of stuff, he did a whole thing on stuff. Yeah, like your really good stuff and then the best stuff out of that. And then if you're going just away for the weekend, you take the very best of the very best stuff. Listen to it. It's a good one. Oh, and you know who most of the original Saturday Night Live people were, right? Anyway, but then in 2006, written by and starring Tina Fey of Saturday Night Live fame, became 30 Rock. 30 Rock hit the airwaves and drove people wild. Do you remember 30 Rock? Yeah. Love George. Oh, George Carlin. Yes. George Carlin is awesome. Yeah, so 30 Rock came after Saturday Night Live, and it was with tons of Saturday Night Live people starring in it and guesting on it. It was with Alec Baldwin. But there was also a guy in it named Keith Powell who played Toofer. And my godson ran into him once at a bar. Not like a bar, but like at a restaurant bar. Said, I know you, and started talking to him. And they became fast friends. And I used to go to Tuesday night dinners every week. My whole family did, with a bunch of friends. And Keith and his beautiful wife ended up joining us at Tuesday night dinners. So that was fun. So we're still Facebook friends. He's awesome and doing some amazing new things in television and movies, as is his wife. Yeah, so Tina Fey. And by the way, remember we talked about Mean Girls the other day? That was her too. She's very talented. Happy birthday today to Henry Hines. Henry Hines? You do have ketchup, right? I mean, Heinz prepared foods, but he was born in 1844. Heinz stuff has been around for quite a while. And that brings up an important question. Is it catsup or ketchup? Or ketchup? What is it? I'm going to have to look that up. I try and stay away from it personally because it's really high in sugar. Maybe they make some now that isn't. But as much as I like it on French fries, I try very hard to avoid it. But then I think I told you that, here, wait, there's a fork here. My girlfriend, Bobby, may she rest in peace, worked at Schick, at the Schick where they taught you how to lose weight. And she taught me the fork trick when it came to condiments. Rather than pouring condiments on anything, including salad dressing, you take your fork, you dip it in the condiment and then into the food eat that, and you use this much when you just dip it on your fork, but it tastes like you had it on everything. This is like the best trick ever. The other thing is, when you go to a restaurant, if you know you're not going to take any food home for the next day, take half your food automatically and ask for a box to take it home. That's if you're taking it home. So you cannot eat more than half. The other way you do it is when you are full and you have to listen to your body. When you're done, you take the salt shaker, take off the top, and pour salt over the food. So you will not. Do you notice that I automatically put the top back before I put the imaginary salt down? What is that? Anyway, pour salt on it. You won't be tempted to eat the rest of it. And Marlene says it's ketchup. I wonder if you looked that up. I don't know. Ketchup. I think I've told you that maybe I didn't. I went to dramatic school when I was a child in Chicago, to Lester Netsky's School of Drama. And we put on these giant productions every year. They were usually family shows, always family-oriented shows. Like we did Heidi and the Red Shoes, and I'm trying to think of what else. I don't remember. But of course, like in Heidi, I was Heidi. What can I say? My grandma, oh my gosh, she was so cute. My grandma Ida, I've talked about her before. She was the best grandma ever. She was from Russia. She had just a touch of an accent, and she was not fat, but she was like squishy. Do you know what I mean? It's like you would sit in her lap and you'd feel like you got folded up inside of her. It was so, and this is where these dimples came from. She would smile, and I swear to you, it would look like her face was caving in. She would go to the store on the bus and come back with 2 new friends. I mean, she was like Grandma Heidi Pidy. She was the best, but she was pretty old country. And she would come to see one of the performances of my plays, and she'd be sitting like in the middle of the theater. And while I'm talking, I would hear, "That's my granddaughter up there. That's my Sandye, my granddaughter. That's my And everybody would start laughing, and it would be all I could do to stay in character. I mean, I was just a kid. That takes a lot of, practice not to laugh when your grandmother like stands up to tell the crowd that you're hers. But it felt so good, I didn't mind. Yeah, that was my grandma. My son loves plays. He's excited to have drama class in school this year. Oh, so much fun. I mean, I loved every minute of it. I think I think I told you I did community theater as later on in my years as an adult, and I loved every minute of it. Senior year in high school, I wrote the senior show. It was great. Hey, we're the seniors. People say we monkey around, but we're too busy playing. Anyway, you get the idea. So yeah, ketchup with a K. You think, huh? All right. 1884, happy birthday, Eleanor Roosevelt. We all go crazy over Chief Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Bader, by the way, same as my grandmother. I think we might be related. Her maiden name was the same as my grandma's name. Anyway, Eleanor Roosevelt. I don't think we give her enough attention. I think I'm going to have to read her autobiography or biography, because apparently this lady was like, holy cow, human rights advocate, and apparently also a bit of an ugly duckling who was constantly being insulted and picked on for being unattractive. Yeah, and I got to learn more about her. That's all there is to it. And finally, Joan Cusack. the actress Joan Cusack, 1962. She's just a kid, but happy birthday to Joan Cusack. Did you know that Joan Cusack and John Cusack were brother and sister? That's, I think, why you usually see both of them in the same movie. And one of them usually has a cameo in the other one's movie. I love both of them. I celebrate that both of the Cusack kids were born because I think they're both really fun to watch. So if you're wondering what to do on this COVID Sunday night, get yourself a sausage pizza and sit yourself down in front of a movie that has either Joan or John Cusack or both of them in it. Guaranteed you're going to have a good time. They're always, always, always good, fun movies. And I think you could even watch them with the family. This morning's word art. Please, just treats, no more tricks. I know it's October. I know it's almost Halloween. I know I'm going to come up with some really clever ways to still celebrate without any tricks. Just treats this year. I think we've had enough tricks, don't you? I'm going to go lay down. No tennis today. I'm sleeping. I love you guys. And tomorrow starts another crazy fun week. So I'll see you on Monday. Goodbye, everybody, for this morning. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Marlene, peace and sparkles to you, babe.